My name is Jerry Brandt, and I'm a senior grant writer and consultant at Fire Grants Help. Previously, I worked for 20 years as the grant writer for a nonprofit community development corporation. I have also served as a volunteer firefighter for over 45 years, with 15 years experience as chief of the Hope Fire Company located in West Central Pennsylvania. During my tenure, we utilized strategic planning and several types of financial assistance to acquire new PPE, apparatus, equipment, and technology. For the next few minutes, I'd like to share with you the critical elements needed to develop an application for successfully funding your PPE project. There are a multitude of sources that offer such financial assistance, including federal and state government, foundations, private corporations, financial institutions, and insurance companies. The first step you will need to take when applying for PPE grants is to read the program guidelines. These guidelines will provide you with all of the relevant information you need to plan, develop, and complete a competitive application and determining your eligibility. The most important part of your application process is planning. This can best be accomplished through a risk assessment of your service area and department. The assessment will show trends that your department has been experiencing over the past few years, and it will serve as the foundation of your grant application. To initiate your assessment, you will need to develop a demographic profile of your coverage area. All of this data on the screen should give you a picture of your community and the factors that are impacting your delivery of services to your coverage area. The next segment of the planning process involves an assessment of your department and your current turnout gear and SCBA. Begin by examining your department's fire reports for the past year. At a minimum, look at the number and type of alarms you had, as well as any special circumstances that occurred. Compare this data to the past 3 to 5 years of alarms to determine trends. Next, examine your current inventory of PPE. Do you have enough turnout gear and SCBA to meet current standards? Do you have assigned gear for each firefighter, or do you operate from a grab rack? Does the age and condition of your gear meet current NFPA standards? Have you had any situations where your SCBA failed at an alarm or a training class? Have your firefighters sustained any injuries as a result of the condition of your SCBA? Have you had any firefighters who were denied training because of the condition of your PPE? The data from your department should be married to the demographic information from your coverage area to provide you with a clear risk assessment. This assessment will tell you what your needs are and becomes the foundation of your grant request. The next step is to develop and complete the targeted grant application for your project. Remember that most grant applications are looking for the same basic information. Remember that a grant reviewer knows nothing about your department or your needs. Also remember your application will only be in front of the reviewer for a few minutes. Be clear and very concise. Begin by describing your area, your department, and the services you provide. Discuss critical infrastructure and/or special hazards that you cover. Then describe past, current, and future trends for your first due coverage area. Next, start to integrate the findings from your assessment into your narrative. Use the data you have gathered on your PPE to validate the need for your request. Now, let the funding agency know your solution to your identified problem. Then explain why this is the best solution and how it will positively affect firefighter safety and be beneficial to the communities you serve. Now, let's turn to the financial need portion of your narrative. Most funding agencies will tell you that typically the financial needs section of an application tends to be the weakest. Begin by describing the root cause of your need for financial assistance. To put it simply, why don't you have the money to fund the project yourself? This is where a quick reference to your service area demographic profile is extremely beneficial. The census data profile that you compiled is critical in painting a picture of the local economic and social landscape for the funding agency. If this data helps to justify your financial situation, it should be included in your request. Next, explain your current sources of funding, your department's budget, and how this has affected your operations. Be open about your department's financial outlook and the reasons for it. Explain with examples why this situation has occurred, how you are trying to address it, and what the short and long-term outlook is for improvement. Then tie all of this information into your justification for financial assistance. Next, describe in detail each item of PPE you want to purchase and how much it costs. Be sure to list the total project cost and include any match that you will be providing. Close your application by discussing the benefits of funding your request. This portion of your narrative should tell the funding agency how your project will benefit your department and the community, how often it will be used, how it will increase the efficiency and interoperability of your department. Discuss why funding your project is the most economical and innovative solution to your identified need. Describe how you will evaluate your project. Most importantly, describe the consequences that will occur if you are not funded. Now, before you submit your application, always have someone not connected with your project review it and give you feedback. It can make the difference between a successful application and one that is turned down. I hope you found this overview helpful as you plan and develop your PPE grant project. For more information about grants and funding, visit nvfc.org.